Hello, my friends. Chef Blondie here. And you know, I always start out by saying, have we got a treat for you? But I'm going to start a little different. I love everything retro and vintage. So today, Fuzzy and I thought we would try to do a recipe from the 1950s from Betty Crocker's Lost Recipes. And you know, you can take this recipe and you can swap it, you can change it out, add your own spices, do what you like. And, you know, it's great for these hot days. I mean, again, you know, we're getting close to 100. You don't have to use the oven. We're going to use the stovetop. And I think you're going to love this Texas hash. But one thing I want to share with you, too, is that it just about made me cry when I realized that Betty Crocker was fictional. And look it up, you know, but there's still some great recipes there from the 50s. But anyway, we're going to be doing Texas hash, and these are your ingredients. We're going to use avocado oil instead of vegetable oil. You're going to need a whole chopped onion, and we're going to add garlic. It doesn't call for garlic, but we're going to add it. And we're going to add a green pepper. And it doesn't call for jalapeno, but we want to spice it up a little bit since it's Texas hash. And, you know, the garlic is from our own garden, jalapenos from our garden. And then you're going to need some ground beef. And this is, you know, from our local farm down the street. We're going to need a cup of rice. It calls for long grain rice, but, you know, I've got just regular rice. Salt and pepper, chili powder, 2 cups of water, a can of diced tomatoes, and like I said, you can just, you know, spice it up and do what you want with it. But I think that you're really going to like this and come along with us as we get going. But, oh, one more thing here. I want to give you a little story. Let me read it to you. In the first edition of this cookbook, the introduction to this recipe read, one of the popular supper dishes served by Jeanette Kelly at her 100-year-old home in Minnesota. The recipe was given to her by a Texas friend. The only change we made was to cook it on the stovetop rather than in the oven for convenience. So let's give it a go. Happy cooking. Let's get started. First, we're going to do the prep. I've got my gloves on because I'm going to have to take care of this jalapeno last. But we're going to need 1 chopped onion, and 1 chopped green pepper. So you can substitute red, yellow, any pepper you want. Then we'll do this jalapeno last. We're going to cook these first. So let's get started with this.
Do I get to do anything?
Yeah. When I get this peeled, you're going to do the chopping, except for the jalapeno. I got to get the skins off. Yeah, Fuzzy and I do this differently. He wants to save every little piece, and you know what? I'm just going to do what I need to do. Let's get this green pepper going here. Let's get these guys cut up. Got all of our green peppers chopped up. Let's get them in the bowl. There. Hey, Fuzz, let's not forget to get the garlic in here, too.
Oh, that's right. Got to do that. We're going to do 1 clove or 2?
Well, if it's a big one, we'll do 1.
Okay, 1 should do it.
So we've got our garlic all chopped up. And, you know, the recipe doesn't call for it, but we love our garlic. And like I say, you can take this recipe, you can take stuff out, you can add to it. I think it's pretty versatile. I've made it many, many times. And, all right, and so the next thing we're going to do is my bad boy over here. But you know what? I love jalapenos. And we ferment them, and I just eat them. They are so, so good. Okay, so let's take the end off there. I'm gonna do that. Down the middle. I don't have many seeds at all. I'll take some of the seeds out. Put it in the compost bucket. That's what I'm gonna do. Cut this little guy up. I would like to put at least 2 or 3 in here, but you know.
Chef Blondie, why are you wearing the gloves?
You should always wear gloves when you're handling hot peppers. The first time I did one of the jalapeños, I didn't have gloves on, and I made the mistake of rubbing my eye, and I said, you better wear gloves. Protect yourself. Get all of this chopped up really fine. There we go. And to my daughter-in-law, a Texan, I think you might like this. Costs for 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, but we don't do seed oil. We try really hard not to. So we're using avocado oil, which has a very high smoke point. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so it costs for 2 tablespoons, but you know, I'm just gonna eye it and see what I need. Okay, that looks about right. Okay. Then we want to, when this gets warmed up, we want to get our vegetables in there and saute them. 5 minutes, I think that's what it says. Yeah, about 5 minutes, just to soften them. There we go. So, you know, friends, let me know if you've made any vintage recipes and share them with us. We would love to see them and maybe even give them a try. Here we go. So, you know, I think adding the garlic is a great idea because it just adds more flavor. And with any recipe, make it your own. You know, you can change it up, do whatever you want. What do you think, Buzz?
Well, the onions appear to be translucent.
Soft.
And then plus they're still going to cook more once we put the beef in there. So I think it's ready to go.
All right. I guess this cooks for what, about 10 minutes maybe?
Yeah, it's going to be well browned.
Yeah.
Another thing is that the recipe said the beef should be at least 80% lean. And with grass-fed, grass-finished beef, the ground beef is always much leaner than the other. So although the directions or the instructions say that you might have to drain any of the excess fat.
There's usually no excess fat here.
No.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start adding some of the salt and pepper and the chili powder. It's the salt. Okay. Teaspoon and a half. All right. Teaspoon and a half. All right. Give this a good stir. Yeah, I always like to add my spices before I add any liquid because it just kind of, once they start to cook a little bit, it releases their oils and their flavor. Well, fellas, does this look like it's done? The meat looks done.
I think it's ready.
Okay, we need 2 cups of water. Now, it calls for the, is it the long grain rice?
Yes. Well, the The recipe in the Lost Recipe Cookbook calls for that, but the original recipe back in 1950 called for regular rice.
Okay.
So you have your option on what
and
rice
I
to put
thought
on.
I had long grain, but on one of our RV trips, we must have used it all. So you're going to need 1 cup. Look like 1 cup?
Yes.
All righty, let's get that in there.
So what type of rice are we using?
This is Calrose rice. And now we're going to do the can of diced tomatoes. Then we're going to get this covered and let it cook for 20-30 minutes, and we'll see what we've got. Looks beautiful. You know, and if you wanted to have a vintage retro party, this would be a great thing to serve. And some appetizers with some pineapple kebabs and all of those retro things. There's so many of them. What do you think? Shall we put the lid on?
It's time.
All right, looks good. This brazier is heavy.
Oh, it's too heavy.
All right, it's simmering, so let's get it going. All right, see you in a little bit. How does that look, my friends? Isn't that beautiful? You know, just for a retro 50s Texas hash. You know, this is the first time we've tried it with our garlic and our jalapeno. So let's see what the difference is. All right. I think I could have kicked it up another notch. Only because of me. I am a spicy person. It tastes great. It really does. You can taste the fresh garlic. You can taste the jalapeno a little bit. But really wonderful flavors. I highly recommend it. But for me, next time I might add 2 jalapenos. Or
maybe even 3.
But you know what you could do, especially for me saying this? Put a little Tabasco on it. That would be extra special, Texas style. Great flavor. Wonderful. Give it a go. Happy cooking, friends.